Giving God a bad name. One would think that rather than quoting this statement, Calvinists would be embarrassed by it. How could God's withholding of salvation from billions to whom he could give it cause us to appreciate the wellspring of God's free mercy and illumine God's grace? That is like praising a man's generosity by exposing his stinginess. In their chapter on limited atonement, after explaining that Christ died for only a select group, and that all others have been damned by God for eternity, John Piper and his staff defy all logic with this statement. Every time the gospel is preached to unbelievers, it is the mercy of God that gives this opportunity for salvation. Opportunity for salvation for those for whom Christ did not die, and who have been predestined to eternal damnation? What taunting, cruel mockery! Far from glorifying God, Calvinism gives God a bad name. Atheists and other critics of the Bible ridicule this portrait of God as a monster who takes pleasure in imposing suffering on mankind. Calvin's God could save the entire human race, but only saves a relative few in order, allegedly, to demonstrate the greatness of his grace. This continual emphasis upon God's sovereignty to the exclusion of his love, mercy, and grace pervades Calvinism. In the booklet that John Piper and his pastoral staff at Bethlehem Baptist Church in Minneapolis published, which promotes Calvinism, God's love to lost sinners is missing, while sovereignty is the repetitious dominant theme. In the preface, Piper writes, "To know him, God, in his sovereignty, is to become like an oak tree in the wind of adversity and confusion. But entirely missing is anything about knowing God's love, or loving him. The real issue is God's love and character. God's love for the world is missing from Calvin's institutes. Indeed, God's love for anyone, including the elect, is scarcely mentioned, a stark contrast to the importance it is given in the Bible. In Calvinism, it is not love that brings salvation to mankind, but God's sovereign choice for his good pleasure. God expects us to love our enemies and to do good to all. Calvin admits that God enjoins us to be merciful even to the unworthy. Yet, he has a lesser standard for himself? How could it glorify God for him to be less gracious than he commands mankind to be? And where does God say that he limits his mercy, much less that he is thereby glorified? Scripture declares, "The Lord is good to all." Psalm 145, verse 9. "Plenteous in mercy unto all that call upon him." Psalm 86, verse 5. And the God of our salvation is the confidence of all the ends of the earth. Psalm 65, verse 5. How can God be good to those whom he, according to Calvinism, predestined to eternal torment? How can he be plenteous in mercy unto those whom he could have saved, but didn't? And how can the God of salvation be the confidence of those he takes pleasure in damning? Calvin refers to our most merciful Father, yet he limits God's mercy to the elect. Boyce offends the God-given conscience even of atheists in saying that God chose to save only a few and to let the others perish, because he was pleased so to choose. Where does God ever intimate that he is pleased to let anyone perish? In fact, he repeatedly states the opposite, that he has no pleasure in the wicked perishing.